So I just watched Skeleton Crew, the newest Star Wars show on Disney Plus, for the first 2 episodes. And many people got to watch the 3rd episode, some critics, but I watched just the first 2 last night, and I've been slowly waiting to watch the episodes twice so that I can condense them and give my full review. As you guys know, I talk about Star Wars on this channel quite often. I'm a Star Wars YouTuber. It's what I do. I talk about Marvel and DC, talk about Cobra Kai, martial arts, all those good things that you like. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you do try and check that out. But without further ado, no more jibber jabber, no more nonsense. Let's just get right into it. So Skeleton Crew, I went into this show with low expectations because after The Acolyte, Star Wars has not been good, and it has been very mediocre, and has not delivered. It has been so mediocre. It had not. They had tarnished what we loved about it, and it was just not what I was expecting. And the trailers for Skeleton Crew looked promising, but I didn't know what to expect, because honestly, it's one of those shows that's fantastic, but at the same time, you just didn't know what to expect because we'd been burned by Star Wars so many times. Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, The Acolyte was just horrible, and so you just didn't know what to expect. But I'm grateful to report that I really enjoyed Skeleton Crew. As a kid, it gives me the 80s nostalgia of E.T., Goonies, a little bit of Stranger Things. Also, if you're a fan of Treasure Island or Treasure Planet, you'll get that vibe too. And they do a great job. You know, it's very rare to see young kid actors be as well received and be as well utilized as they are in this show. Each of the kids are great. I mean, Win feels like who I would be as a kid. Wanted to get into lightsaber fights with his friend. You know, it's so fun. That's the best word to describe this show. It is fun. And it's just so, these first 2 episodes are just something else. It's such a nice, warm hug for Star Wars. It feels like we're reliving the 1977 timeline. And look, shows can always get worse before they get better. So even though I like these first 2 episodes, that doesn't mean that that this show couldn't get ruined. But I'm pretty confident that it won't get ruined, because you got John Watts at the helm. We know Favreau's working on it from behind the scenes. We know there's other great directors. Bryce Dallas Howard directed some stuff. I'm pretty confident this will be one of the best Star Wars shows. I mean, if you're watching this if you either are a father with a kid and they're enjoying Star Wars for the first time, that's great. You don't have to watch any other Star Wars projects to understand this, but it does help. There are Easter eggs to the holiday special, and one of the best things about both these episodes are we introduced to something we've known about for a while is Jude Law's in this show. And Jude Law in episode 1 starts out as a pirate captain called Captain Silvio. Now, Captain Silvio is a direct reference to Long John Silver from the story of Treasure Island. And we start with a scene that's an homage to A New Hope when Princess Leia's ship is attacked, but here it's a pirate raid. And pirates are attacking the ship, and when they find out that there's no treasure in the vault, they play a mutiny against their captain, just like in Curse of the Black Pearl. So then we get some Pirates of the Caribbean references in there. If you don't know, Captain Silvio is definitely Jude Law's character. You can hear the British accent. I think it's quite obvious that that's who it is. And I really love that. I think Jude Law is an amazing actor, and I'm loving what they're doing with his story so far. Each of the kids, as I mentioned, are brilliant, giving that fresh Stranger Things feel. You feel the bond between these kids. Fern is bossy and sassy, and you love her. KB gives a Cyclops vibe, and she's kind of super smart, and that's kind of cool. Neil is very lovable, kind of the new Grogu in a sense, and I think that's really cool. Yeah, each of the teens, super well received. The first episode, I would say, I like a little bit more than the second episode, but the second episode is great too. The first episode, really you get to know everyone. Also, in terms of pirates, you get Vane back from Mando Season 3, which is interesting because I didn't like Mando Season 3, but it's interesting they're continuing his story here. You get a wolf captain called Brutus, which looks exactly like the alien from the cantina scene in A New Hope, and it's cool that we're going back to George's old designs here. I think that's brilliant. I really love it. He's a brutal captain. It's cool that he replaced. It's cool that he ended up replacing Silvio, which is interesting. So episode 1, focus on the pirates a little bit. We get to know these kids a little bit, see what their school system's like, and like I said, really fun show. Really nice, warm hug for Star Wars fans. I'm sure we'll get dark at some points, but it really feels like it's a child story that you can watch with your family, get some popcorn in there, and just really enjoy it. And I really enjoy that. I really think that that is such a beautiful thing. And each of the kids, like, we feel like we can connect to these kids. It feels like we are these young kids in our life right now as adults. We're going back to that nostalgia version of ourselves. And I really like that. I think that's really cool and really sweet. And so the teens, great stuff. Love what they explore in the first episode. Captain Silvio, some pretty decent action sequences and callbacks to A New Hope. Also, their droid on the ship that they find is named SM-33. And the SM stands for not only Spider-Man, but also Smee from Peter Pan. If you guys don't know, Jude Law most recently played Captain Hook in a Peter Pan movie that was not that great, but I did like his performance as Captain Hook. And so I like that they're doing an homage there. If you guys don't know me, not only am I a Star Wars fan, not only am I a martial artist, not only am I a fan of all these different things, but I love everything to do with pirates. I always wanted to be a pirate when I grew up, so any story with pirates has my attention. And I hope after Skeleton Crew we get to see a whole show, maybe some video games, exploring more of the space pirates concept. Because I really think that that's something that needs to be explored in Star Wars, just like the underworld. But overall, so in the second episode we set up, we get to see kind of the Tortuga of the Star Wars universe. It's a kids show. We're getting more mature. We're seeing more and more things. And that's really cool. And one of the reasons why I think we can relate to Wim is because he's the Star Wars fan we all wanted to be as kids. And I think they do a great job with that. I think the storytelling is great so far. It's a solid start. I give Skeleton Crew episode 1 an 8.5 out of 10. It's a very solid start. And I'm going to give episode 2 an 8.5. I'm going to give episode 2 an 8.3 out of 10. Still a solid episode. The ending is the best part, where when you build up and you see Jude Law appear as a Jedi, and he goes and uses the key. I think he's going to use these kids to do exactly what he wants, but like I said, I do think he's the pirate captain from the beginning of the first episode. So we'll see where they go with this. What his plan is remains to be seen. But this show is shrouded in mystery, and I think one of the best reasons to watch it is good. Every week, coming back to a new episode, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? I'm so excited for episode 3. I enjoyed Skeleton Crew, and I think this could be, hopefully, a big comeback for Star Wars, and hopefully fans can look at this and just get that positive energy, that sense of wonder, and I'm really excited for the adventures that we're going to have with these kids. So anyway, guys, what did you guys think of Skeleton Crew? I really liked it. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video.
Whoa!